that Ross doesn't draw a fighting energy, and just leave the energy on Magnezona. That might be what was going through Sammy's head.
Okay, that's respectable. Now he would still need to have no fighting energies for 2 turns, but
Yeah,
that's all
unless
right.
he had a Jirachi and a Psychic in the discard somehow.
Yes, that's correct. So now we're looking at Ross look through his deck. He's undoubtedly going to be getting a fighting energy, and this second card would probably be a Chansey now. That or it really doesn't matter. At this point, he knows he's going to have this game on lock if his opponent doesn't have the second Magnezone.
Yeah, the only way Ross can lose at this point is if there's enough damage on his field where Sammy could actually devolve one of them with Jirachi and get a knockout. But if he can get any sort of basic, that's probably not going to happen. Outside of a Solosis or an Oddish.
So obviously, both of these players are world class, and I believe that's a Chansey. Yes, it is. But like I was saying, both of these players are world class, so they're not going to be making too many blatant mistakes. So we're going to be seeing this game play out the way it's supposed to be, which should be the Dawn fan obviously gets that fighting energy like it just did, and knocks out the Magnezone, and his opponent no longer has any energy on the field, and has no way to really take that last prize.
Yeah, if I'm Sammy, I don't know. I don't know what to do anymore. I thought I was going to win. Got up ahead, 2 or 3 prizes, and now I can't seem to knock anything out. So, what do I do?
Well, if I'm Sammy, to be honest, after the second or third turn, or whenever my opponent got that Reuniclus and Devout, I really don't think I have much of a chance at that point. Maybe it's just a pessimist in me, but I look at that field and I just go, "Oh God, how am I ever going to take 4 prizes here?"
It's interesting to note he did get down to 1 prize, so it was perfectly possible if he could have gotten another Magnezone into play.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, it didn't happen.
Yep. Now let's see. He might not be out of the game quite yet. We're still looking. Obviously, Ross is looking through Sammy's discard, so Ross believes that there must be some sort of a way he can win. Maybe he's looking for the second Magneton. Maybe he got saged away or something. He doesn't really know. He's still scared of that Magneton, I'm sure, because that's really the only way Sammy can win.
Well, the way Sammy can win is just if he can just
Jirachi!
Yeah, he's going to have to hit for 40. Oh, alright, we do have Jirachi.
Yep. So at this point, we're seeing the Jirachi get the only energy out of the discard that he can, because he only flipped 1 time.
See, there you go. He could have won the game with that if he had a Magnezone.
Yeah.
If Ross didn't have
really, it's true.
If Ross didn't have the fighting energy that turn, Sammy would have won this game. But hey, it's just an if.
All right, so we're looking at a sage from
Ross.
I'm sorry, from Ross. Yes. So Ross at this point is going to be looking for just a Blissey, a way to clear the damage, a way to make sure that the Jirachi won't be able to take a couple of bad prizes.
Yeah. Now, did Sammy attack that turn or no?
No, I believe he didn't. I didn't see any damage being added.
See, that's unfortunate. The way he could have won is just. I mean, he had to hope that Ross just doesn't have anything, but looks like a fire goes on the Chansey. Anyway, the way he could have won is just to put more damage on Ross's field. If he could have done 40 and then Earthquake, will put more damage. And if Ross can't get if he can't get the Blissey, eventually it's going to add up to where Sammy can linear attack something for a knockout. But he couldn't do Sonic Boom, so it's probably not going to get enough damage on the field in time.
Yeah. So at this point, he did Sage. He just Earthquaked, and he added damage to his bench. And he's just trying to play it to the point where he doesn't get knocked out by the Jirachi, which is really the best way for him to lose.
Well, it looks like Ross didn't play another fighting energy, so he's going to have to keep Earthquaking. So maybe or keep damaging everything. It really comes down to that Blissey. This is a lot closer than you'd think.
It might be, because I really don't think it's very close at all. As long as he leaves that... I mean, I wouldn't be attacking with Earthquake at that point. I would just be... Because the Earthquake is kind of counterproductive. It doesn't put your opponent on a very fast clock at all.
Well, that Don fan's not moving. So he's either going to do damage or Pass?
Tropical Beach, whatever. That's the name of the stadium, right? Tropical Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would maybe Tropical Beach if I really need that Blissey. I don't know.
Hmm.
Well, we see us. Yeah, we're gonna be seeing his second energy come on to play on the Jirachi, I believe. So now his game plan's obvious. Just
What the Earthquake tells me is that he does have the Blissey. Otherwise, he wouldn't be doing that.
yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Is if I don't have access to the Blissey, I'm not gonna Earthquake. I'm not gonna be putting my opponent on a very fast clock. So why would I possibly put more damage on myself and put a faster clock on myself?
Yep. So let's find out what happens.
And again, when I say faster clock, all I'm saying is if my opponent is going to beat me through dealing 40 damage a turn in 5 turns, I don't want to make him do it in 3 turns or 4 turns or whatever. I want to leave it at 5 turns. That way I can draw my card, the card that I need to be able to win this game. So that's kind of what I mean when I say putting him on a clock.
Right. Instead of Earthquake, you would just wait until you had 3 energy to use Heavy Impact. That way you don't damage your own Pokemon. And then you would just knock out everything on Sammy's field in 1 or 2 hits. So
Exactly.
Yeah, some more damage being swapped.
And there's that Blissey. The Blissey does heal all the damage from his side of the field. And
That'll be the game, basically.
Yeah. I really think it's academic from here. I don't see any way whatsoever of Sami coming back in this game. And at this point, since it's a best 2 out of 3 game with a certain time limit, I would honestly scoop him on Sami. I would just call it quits right here and there.
I agree. I don't see a way out. Sometimes you just got to know when you're beat, conserve your time, and move on.
Yeah. Now, Sami must have thought that he was still in this game this entire time if he didn't scoop, because, like I said, if he can get this to a Game 3... Well, I haven't said this yet, but I thought if he can get this game to a Game 3 situation where there's a very short clock, then he's going to be in great shape. So I really don't think that I want to play a full game, or play a Game 2 where my opponent only has, 10 minutes or 15 minutes to go on the clock. I want to just scoop and give myself as much time as possible.
Right. I mean, you do have to take 4 prizes in that game, too, so you got to be aware of the time. There's probably about 30 or so minutes that have gone by in this game, so you got to be aware of this. You have to be aware that Ross's deck doesn't give up prizes very easily. He'll give up the first 1 or 2, but then once he gets the Vileplume and the Reuniclus out, it's tough for you to take more prizes, so you have to keep all this in mind. You can't let losing a game get in your head.
Yeah. I mean, once again, I really don't want to question Sami's play. He's obviously an amazing player and obviously probably a much better player than myself, but at this point in time, I would have scooped, I would have personally scooped, 15, 20 minutes ago because, again, I'm a pessimist. But I really don't see any way whatsoever for Sami to come back in this game unless he really does play a second Magnezone.
Well,
and even then, it might be too late.
What I'm thinking is either Sammy's just trying to figure out everything that's in Ross's deck so he can prepare better for Game 2, or maybe he doesn't know what all of Ross's cards do, so he doesn't know that he's lost yet. And the other option might be that he's really on tilt, and he can't understand how he lost to this deck, so he's just not thinking clearly. And another thing is he could be tired because this is very early in the morning.
That's a good point. But again, there really is no excuse for playing this game out to this extent. He's gone 3 turns where he already knows he's beat. He's seen the Blissey, which was his one way of knowing that he was probably not going to win. And, I mean, he has to imagine that his opponent plays Seeker or something. I mean, I know we know that he plays Seeker, but he has to imagine that his opponent plays some sort of a way to get rid of this damage.
Well, there's no way to know that for sure, but maybe Sammy's just fishing for information.
He's only got so many minutes left on the clock. You can't fish for... You don't have an unlimited amount of time to fish,
Yeah. No, I agree with you that he should have scooped. I'm just trying to figure out why he hasn't yet.
Well, let's see what happens. Oh, man. Now, Ross at this point is just taking his sweet time because, to be honest, he doesn't have a reason not to. He wants to make sure he doesn't mess up this game. He knows the game's pretty much in the bag as long as he doesn't do anything ridiculous. And he goes through a Sage, gets rid of 3 bad cards that he couldn't use, including a Communication, and probably an Earthquake this turn.
Yeah, I don't want make Ross sound bad in any way, but you can see he's wearing a watch on his left hand, so on his left wrist, I guess. So you know he's well aware of how much time's left in the round. He does play sort of slowly. He's not going to speed up just because there's not much time left. So you have to keep this in mind as well. The person you're playing against, he he takes his time. He thinks out his actions before he does anything. So that's another incentive to scoop earlier in the round because you really need all the time you can get against Ross.
Yeah, and obviously we're not calling Russ a cheater or that he's stalling. He's just
No.
taking the allotted time that he's allowed to, and which is entirely fine because at this point he knows he's got this game in the bag as long as he doesn't mess up. So why would he mess up and rush himself for no reason?
Yeah, I agree. So he also probably has in his mind that he wants this
And
game to go far. And
yeah,
here we go.
there we go. That is the scoop. He does realize that the game is over. It took him a couple extra turns to realize it, but that's all right. He does scoop without the game actually finishing, so
Well,
he's going
there
to be
is
shuffling up and
nothing
coming up with a strategy.
nothing on his board that could survive another earthquake, so he scoops up his
Eek.
cards.
Eek. So now at this point, if I'm Ross, I'm thinking, well, let's see how much time is left on the clock, and it's a perfectly legitimate strategy to not let your opponent finish a game too. So he's going to try to get that Reuniclus in play and get a Chansey on the field, and maybe Blissey and Seeker up heal some damage, and not let your opponent take the 4 prizes to take it to game 3.
Yeah, alright, that's been game 1. We'll be back with game 2 right after this.
Thanks a lot, guys.